Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to welcome you on today's webinar. I will demonstrate you the latest update of Postman of the version 11. In this session, I'll explore how these new features can elevate our routine as QA manual engineers. I'll provide some powerful tools to streamline your workflow and enhance productivity. So let's start with our first feature. It's going to be a package libraries. With this update, Postman now allows us to store scripts in one source where we can edit it in one place, and then it will be applied to every other request that we're using it. So I'm going to use Pokemon API, and we'll start with creating some scripts. I will go back to this later on, but I'm using Postbot to generate those tests for me because I do not write them myself. As you see, I have already several tests here. So what developers and QAs were struggling with is that we have a lot of similar requests in our Postman collections, and we want to have the same scripts for them running all over again. But to do that, we had to create a lot of these scripts, then copy and paste them to each new request. Postman updated it with new feature called package libraries. So you can see it when you hover over scripts, you're following to the right side of it, and you can see that there is a new addition, packages. I have already one created. So we will go ahead and open package collection. This is the one that I've created. It's a simple one that we want to have a test for each our request that the response is 200 and everything is okay. So I have it set up here in the collection root. After that, I can simply delete everything that I had here before. I can just go ahead and set it to have it in each request sourced from the package library. Then whenever I send the code, the request, we can see that test result gives us 200 OK, which means it works. And additionally, if we want to add something new, as I said, I will go back to this later on this webinar, but I will use Postbot for this once again. Let's say I want to check content type for this request, and it's going to generate the text for me. So I don't have to create it manually. What I can do now is I can select it, copy it, and instead of going through each and every request each time, I can just click add to package. I can select the package that I've already created, add it here, copy, save it, and then I can go ahead and clear it once more. I select it from the dropdown, send it, and now I have two tests. So I can go and set the same package library source for each request, and it will use it from the source here, and I can update it each time when I have to. I can create up to three, I guess at the moment, up to three packages for the workflow or for the, I guess, for the user, and reuse them in each workspace that I'm participating in. And I guess the next thing we're going to talk about here is the comments, because it is in the same place. Before that, we had comment sections in Postman as well. But now what we can do is we can have it right in the body or in parameters of our request. We can select any text within our request. We can click on comment. We can even tag someone. I will tag just me. And I can ask myself questions. What it will do, it will create a set of dialogues. When I will reply for this comment, it will be also displayed in the notification center. We have it updated as well here. We have directs, which is exactly what it is. When you comment and tag someone within a request, you will see these updates. But because I am logged in as the user who is tagging the same user, I don't see these updates here. But I can show you that I watch a lot of collections and I can see all the updates that are coming from the requests themselves, as well as some comments when somebody tags me. We can use it in parameters. We can use it in the body. The same, we're just selecting some text. We're setting it to comment. And now we can add anything here. And again, we can tag anyone from our team. I can ask again. And then I can reply to myself. Again, we have resolved, for example, and then I can mark this as a result and I will not see this comment anymore. So next thing we're going to discuss today is the workspace updates, because again, it is in the same field of updates from Postman. We have our workspace, and if this workspace is created not only for us, we can check it in the settings that now it is for the whole team, or if you can share it with anyone by the email or by sending a link, then we will have this new tab, which is called updates, where we can post an update to the whole workspace feed, and everyone who's within this workspace will see it. So how do we do that? We can create new update. We will give it a title. We can set the type of this update, so it can be an improvement, or we just fixed a bug, or there's some announcement going on. We can set some text in it, and after that we can even add some specific requests or the whole collection here to mention in this update. Let's say we just edit new one, we can add it here and everyone will see it. Or we can also get this update from the collections that was not mentioned by us or was not done by us, but we can also add it here to briefly describe and show what was changed within this collection. We can post it. Yeah, everyone will see it. We can even go ahead and copy a link to share it with anyone outside our workspace, and they will see it. And after that, we can edit or update it as usual. Also, these notifications will be in the notification tab as well. So you will get notified when someone is changed. And also you can get these updates by email. So there's plenty of options for you to be updated. One of the things that will take more time than this, I guess, is the new edition of the vault. So whenever you want to store some secrets within your Postman and you don't want it to be shared when you're sending the request, or it should not be accessible in a console or anywhere else, you're sharing screen for someone, for example, or you just want to get those secrets outside, like from AWS or Azure or any other that will be supported in the future. I believe Postman Postman mentioned that one passport will be working with them, but for now I know that AWS and Azure are the ones that are supported. So what it will do, when you click on the vault, mine is already created, but essentially it will create new vault key that you need to store or copy somewhere. And there is a checkbox here to mask vault secrets. So whenever you're using it in any request, you will see only hidden secret like here. After that, we can create, for example, any new password. Let's say we want to store a prod password here, and we don't want anyone to know it. So we will just store it here. It is stored only locally. So whenever you log in or log out from your Postman, this data will be purged permanently. So you need to store it and store the vault key within your reach. So yeah, we created new password. Now what we can do is we can go and set the authorization to be a bearer token, and we can set it as a variable as we use for any other variable, but this time it will be a password. And you can see if we will send it and check the console, in our headers, the bearer token is not shown up. The one place where you can see it if you really need to is you can go ahead and check the code tab here. And when you hover it over, just because you have this vault secret already set up, you can hover over and see the value of this authorization. Otherwise, when sharing a screen or you just storing it for your own convenience, you will not see it. You can also store this data instead of the value that you set up manually. You can go ahead and copy the link from your AWS secret. You can pass it here, and each time that you're sending the request, if it is an HTTPS request, it will send this data from AWS because this integration is already set up, and you will pass the authorization. After that, I guess you can, one thing to mention here is that if you will lose your access or you will forget your vault key, what you have to do in order to reset it, you need to sign out from Postman, and it will give you a notification that all the local data will be removed once you signed out. On signing on, you will have an option to reset the password. Everything that you stored locally will be purged. And one additional thing to mention here is that whenever you're creating new vault, there is an option to store it in your local password manager. For macOS, it's going to be Keychain. For Windows, I believe it's Password Manager. So there is additional place where you can check it if you lost it. So it's actually you can store here not only the passwords, it's just a secret vault. So you can set any data you want. For example, you want to set some names or surnames, or it is really not that's not gonna that should not be stored or shown anywhere. You can set it as well here, like for example, some name. Let it be Andrew, but you just don't want anyone to see it. You can use it the same in your request body. You can set the name value to be, again, using the variables to be name. Yeah, and then when you will send it, again, no one will see what you're sending, what data you're using, but you will send the data you stored in your vault. And I guess the last thing to show and discuss briefly, not the last one, but the one that I will not be able to show you properly is the integration of these notifications within the Slack. So whenever you have opened this notification bar, you can see that you can get this notified on Slack. For that, you need to have admin rights, but it is a really convenient way to update the whole team on any updates of the collection, that Workspace feed got updated or anything was added in it. And also they've added new extension for the VS Code. So you can go and check extensions get Postman, and what it will do, it will add you a local copy of your collection or the whole workspace in VS Code. This is probably handy for developers because they can directly use all the collections and all the requests within the workspace in their VS Code. But we're not gonna concentrate on that because I don't have any usage for that. So we will switch to last but certainly not least update for Postbot. Now it is accessible for general public because on the first update they added it. It was only for enterprise and some other levels that you should pay for. Now Postbot is updated for everyone, and what it can do I briefly showed up. But the main idea here is that it can automate and make it more quicker for you to create automation test cases to test your responses. So within a click of a button, we can Or if we really want to, we can go to create some new requests, and Postbot will create a whole set of new tests for it. Yeah, we need to click on Postbot, we need to test for response, and it will automatically create some tests, but they are often just created randomly, so there is no it properly now unless you want to specify what test you want it to create. For example, let's create it against for a data length, and it will create test for us. As I said, after it is created, we can store it in the packages and use it for all our requests or within the collection. We can also add documentation with this Postbot. Within a click of a button, again, it will go through the body of our request, and it will create a full-blown documentation, which we can check here. It will give you a brief explanation of what it does, what is the expected response, and what headers should you pass to successfully test it. I have in this collection 2 requests, so or it's just a second copy. I guess we need to switch to another request here, and it is also fully created by the Postbot. I haven't wrote a code here. And the latest thing, I guess, to show is the visualization. Now you can use it inside of the Postbot. You can have your data visualized. Let's say we want to visualize a map. It's specifically created just for demonstration purposes, but whenever you need to have your response data structured like a table, for example, you can use this handy feature. So to do that, we just send a request, we switch to the visualization tab, or we can use Postbot and use visualize response and set it not as a map, because now it is used in different way. We can say, I don't know, for some reason I want to set it as a table. It will create a new script in the post response, and now it is shown as a table. So I will revert these changes just for the purpose of showing it how it was before. We don't want to save it now. After it was visualized, you can save the same script and use it in package libraries. And as you can see here, we have now divided scripts into 2 parts. We have pre-request, the one that will be executed just before we send in the request, and post-response. This is specifically for the visualization, and maybe you want to set any data as the variable or save it or do any action with it. Yeah, so when we click on visualize, it will be, yeah, now we have a whole new map inside of the Postman. And I guess if we want to do something like, let's say we want to have a lot of data, I have here a free to use NPI database. So let's say I have a limit for 100 of records, right? Whenever I send this data, I don't want to go through all of this long response. I can go just to this tab, click on visualize. It is already visualized as the table for me, and I can go and specify which rows I want to see, how they should be visualized here by using the simple CSS code. And now I have everything I need at a glance, because this is the most important data for me using this API endpoints. And here it is. So Postbot can do everything just from the small window here. Additionally, what they did after the latest update, they've connected it to the whole Postman documentation library. So now you can ask anything about how the Postman works or what exactly you need to obtain here. Just within this window. So for example, you can ask, how do I create a new request to put data? And it will go through the documentation. I guess it is kind of a small window, so let me know if you don't really see it. I know it's a little small text here, but anyway, it is going through all the documentation it can find. It's given me the answer here. It is step-by-step guide of how can I create this new request. And after that, it is giving me a source, so I can click on it and have the full documentation listed there. And after that, I can proceed to updating my script or creating something new. So I guess this covers most of the information that was obtained by the latest update of Postman. If you have any additional questions or maybe anything that was not really understandable, feel free to ask it in the chat. Otherwise, we can go ahead and go through any additional things that you find interesting or tempting to try. This update is already live, so you can go ahead and download Postman if you're not using it already. And Postbot available for everyone as well. So I guess there is nothing that holds our back to elevate our testing routine even more. I guess that's it. In conclusion, it was the update of the latest 11 version of Postman. I hope the next version will be rather soon, so I will make an update on that as well. But for now, thank you all for joining. I guess that's it then. So thank you for participating. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to reach us out on this data here. And if anything, have a good day, rest of the day. And yeah, thank you. It was nice having you here. That's it. Bye-bye.